we're going to start the meeting. Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning. Let's take a look at the agenda. Anybody care to approve? Any corrections or changes?
Mr. Chairman, I have several additions today, please. Kathy,
Okay.
Dan, can you hear okay? Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, very.
Okay. We're trying to get the audio figured out. Last time we had the meeting, it got really loud, and we didn't have a good audio for the DVD for the public. So I'm trying to work around the audio from the phone to the microphone so we can hear both you guys too. So that'll be kind of a work in progress today. Chris is over there, and the mic might have to come closer, the audio might have to come up, but as long as you can hear me now.
Normal.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, at 9:03, I would like to add judicial ditch cleaning quotes as an action item. And at 9:10, I'd like to present Resolution 59-32-20 for the reappointment of the assessor, Joyce Steinhoff. We did it by motion last week, and the state would really like to have a resolution to get that in, so it's just a formality to approve the resolution for Joyce's reappointment. At 9:15, please add Maintenance Supervisor Wayne Drew on a skid steer snow blower purchase as an action item, and you do have documentation in your packets for that as well. At 10 o'clock with Nick Bergman, add one more item to his list at 10 o'clock. That would be to approve final payment on SAP 059-030-013 project, and you have a documentation in your packet on that as well. Under other items, one other item, I would like to add JBS Pipestone plant tour. As a discussion item, the board has been invited to visit the plant and take a tour, and looking at either November 10th or November 24th at the board meeting. We can talk about that at the end. And Mr. Chair, that is the last of, one other item with personnel. Kathy did add an item in there on a project called NeoGov, N-E-O-G-O-V. It's a software program for HR. So I added that in there. You do have documentation on that in your packet as well. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, if that's all, is there anyone care to approve the agenda?
So move.
Okay, Chris made the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Les seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, how about the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I'd move the consent agenda.
Okay, Luke made a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Seconded.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the consent agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. That brings us to 9:03. Ditch cleaning quotes. You want to do that first?
Yes, please, Mr. Chair. Okay. Should have two pieces of paper in your packet. One is from Double D Gravel, one is from A&C Excavating. I've been doing a lot of work with the ditch committee on this, trying to get this worked out. We have two quotes, actually bids. There are firm bids for the cleaning of the ditch from 9th Street Southwest to Hiawatha Avenue. And I have conferred with the ditch committee, and the ditch committee unanimously has approved recommending to the board to go with the Double D Gravel bid at $19,970 plus $1,000 to do 50 foot south of the 9th Street Bridge. That's on the recommendation of Engineer Bergman. There is an area that is silting in and narrowing the ditch just before it gets to the county bridge, and he'd like that cleaned out with it, and then also to do the area to the west of the Hiawatha Avenue Bridge between the bridge and the monument fence, and then would include hauling away the material that he pulls out of the ditch there, because being it is a ditch, you can't pile it as a berm, so it has to drain. So he'll take that out and move it over across to the east side and then spread it with the other material they'll have out there. So, but there'll be a little bit of trucking in that area. So the board did approve that, so the total amount that the ditch committee is authorizing is $20,970 and is requesting county board approval, and that will be paid out of the ditch fund.
Mr. Chair, I'd move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Start date on this for the public that'll be watching the video is approximately November 9th, or possibly earlier. Double D's will be renting a long arm excavator to do the work, and if they can get it earlier, they'll start earlier, but it's being used right now, so that's their plan. Start approximately Monday the 9th.
Okay,
Thank you for that.
assessor appointment, can we do that next?
Certainly. This is just a follow-up, board members, to the motion that the board passed at the last meeting. Apparently doing it through the minutes is a cumbersome plan to do it, to get it to the state, so a resolution, I drew up a resolution, so we did already authorize it, but if you'd authorize this for the chair and myself to sign this, I'll go ahead and send it off to the state and give a copy to Joyce. So it's the same information we did last time. I'll read through it. Whereas Minnesota statutes 273.061 requires that the terms of office as county assessor shall begin on January 1st of every fourth year after 1973. And whereas January 1st, 2021 will begin a new term of office for county assessors statewide. Statute requires the Commissioner of Revenue to approve the appointment and the reappointment of all county assessors. Therefore, be it resolved that Joyce Smith is hereby appointed County Assessor of Pipestone County for a 4-year term commencing January 1st, 2021 pursuant to the provisions of Minnesota Statute Section 273.061.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve resolution 593220.
Chris moved to approve the assessor appointment.
Dan, second.
Dan, thank you,
Are
Dan.
you second it? Okay.
Yes.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, done. Now, we have the skid steer purchase. Do we need Wayne for that?
I did not get a handout on that.
What's that?
I did not get a handout on the skid steer.
Two pages look like this.
Nope.
I don't have one either.
Oh, never mind, that's because I neglected to hand them out.
Oh, that would make a difference.
My bad.
Okay, thank you.
There you go, sorry about that.
Morning.
Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready, Wayne. We'll hear what you got to say.
Okay, I got two bids for a snow blower for the skid steer. One was from Jeremy Schmidt Egg Products, and that's a hitch docker snow blower, 14-pin harness. It's a 73-inch snow blower for $6,150.75. And that one's made in Jackson, Minnesota. And the other one's from Case IH, Erskine, 2020 73 snow blower, 14-pin harness. This one's $59.50. The biggest difference I can see in them is the hitch docker is a lot heavier. It's 950 pounds to 770. The blade is 22-inch blade, 5-inch or 5 blades on the hitch docker, and it is a 20-inch 4 blade on the Erskine. Cutting height is 29 on Erskine, and the cutting height on hitch docker is 32. So I'm kind of recommending the hitch docker, but
There's a few differences. It's a little more heavy duty than
yes,
the other
yep,
one.
yep. And neither one of them have shear pins.
You don't need shear pins with the hydraulic.
Right.
That's your
Yeah.
cushion.
Yep, yep.
What about service for anything? Does this Smith Ag thing have any,
Yeah, he does. And then plus the parts are right in Jackson too.
yeah. I know the guy that owns Hitch Dock. I've been friends with him for a long
Okay.
time. It's a really good company. But that doesn't,
Yeah, yep,
they're close by. They
They're
make
close
everything
by.
out there. They're,
yep. The other one's up by Alexandria.
okay,
Erskine
they're
is.
both within.
They're both in Minnesota. And they're both with about 2 to 3 weeks before delivery.
We learned yesterday from Bill that the company's name is Erskine Town.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's made. Yep.
Well, the Hitch Dock, kind of a strange name
That's-
to it. It doesn't matter, but they started years ago in his garage out on the farm, and he was making hitches for motorcycles. That's why he was called the Hitch Dock.
Oh,
And he sold hitches to everybody, these little trailer manufacturers and stuff. And then he
Yep.
expanded out on and on and on. It's a big company now. So, anything else we have to know about that?
what's that?
Do you want us just somebody to decide what to do?
Dan, try talking.
Dan, do you have a question?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Got a question for Wayne. Do you have a recommendation or a preference of which one you'd rather have?
Yeah, I'm recommending the hitch docker.
And was that the one that we would be buying through Schmidt, did you say, a
Yes.
local?
Yes. Yep.
Yep. Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion that we buy that unit from Hitchcock.
Okay, Dan made the motion,
A little more.
Second.
and Chris seconded it. Any other discussion? You don't need any other adapters or anything to go with this thing, or, okay?
No, the harness, the 14-point harness is what I gotta have, so.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
All right,
Aye, opposed?
I,
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
Um,
Anything else?
Mr. Chair and board members, this will be paid for out of the budgets plus the proceeds from the sale of the skid steer.
That's gonna be going online, I think, tomorrow.
Okay, you've had your questions answered about that as far as reserve or
I
whatever.
put the reserve on it, so, yep, put 2,500 on it, for reserve.
Anything else for Wayne? No other news on the shingling project that we can have at this point? We're just kind of waiting.
I haven't heard nothing.
All right.
what site are you selling the skid steer on?
It's Minnesota Department of Auctions, I think it is. But Bill's gonna list it on the Pipestone website.
Oh, okay.
Once it comes up, he'll put it
Somebody
on the
local
Pipestone
might be
website.
interested in it then too, so.
Yep, it's a surplus auction. That don't cost us anything.
Sure, good,
Yeah, yep, yep. So, okay,
thank you.
yep.
All right. Nick Bergman we're a ways away from 10 o'clock. Kathy, can we do anything with Kathy at this point? You got something you can talk to us about, Kathy?
Yes, I do have a couple items this morning.
That's better.
The first item I have is the, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, it's good.
Okay. Is the jail administrator job description. And as you know, we recently hired Tyler Rippentrop in August to fill the position of jail administrator. And we see a need to update the job description to reflect some of the duties he's been assigned since he is a licensed, post-licensed. He is serving as a backup deputy sheriff during his shift, so we really wanted to include that in the job description, make sure it's accurate. And then also just noting the qualifications required in order to perform those duties on the first page. So the two new sections are the other qualifications paragraph on the first page and the deputy sheriff information on page 2. And the sheriff has reviewed this language and agrees with it. So.
So we want a motion to update the job description.
Yes, please.
So moved.
Les made the motion to approve.
second.
Dan will second.
Okay, Luke already seconded, Dan. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a question though, if I may,
Okay.
Kathy.
Yep.
You said you're gonna add into the job description the part about backup deputy sheriff.
Yep.
But that can, in the future, if you need to refill this, that can be changed, adjusted in, so it doesn't preclude somebody who's not certified.
Exactly, and that's why we didn't put it in there when we first advertised. We didn't want to limit our candidates. But this is really just to ensure that everyone's job expectations are known for Tyler and for the department. But yes, if Tyler were to leave and we needed to backfill this position, we could go back to the old job description, or they may want to look at keeping this a licensed position. So I guess that's our two options. If this were to become vacant, we would evaluate that and see which job description we'd like to use.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Kathy.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Hey,
Okay, motion passes. Okay, is that anything else for you today, Kathy, or is that?
I have the NeoGov request. There's quite a bit of information with it. There's a packet that kind of goes over their different modules, and then there's also, I don't know if my email got printed out or if it was the price comparison spreadsheet, but that's probably mostly what I'm going to refer to as the NeoGov price comparison spreadsheet with the different modules listed there. It says NeoGov on the top left, and then product, and then year 1, 2, 3. So what NeoGov is it's a software program that allows, well, they have different modules as I alluded to, but the ones that we're interested in are the Insight module, which is for job applicants to be able to apply for jobs via our website online rather than like printing off an application or handing it in physically. So they would actually go online to our website, fill everything out on there, submit it to us. I would have the ability to review all the applications, score them online through their software program, and then forward them on to the hiring manager for review, all electronically. The other piece that would come with the quote that I'm interested in is the e-forms, and you'd be able to create forms online for employees to fill out. They could fill it out before they started work, filling out forms to submit to me prior to their employment. Also just kind of like required forms and policies that they'd have to read and sign off on. You'd have the ability for an electronic signature, and then they could submit it to me and it would all be housed in one spot for their, it's kind of like an online personnel file, and I could print it out as well and put it in their physical personnel file as well. NeoGov is something that we've looked at for several years. It's a product that a lot of counties have. I think there's 40 plus counties in the state of Minnesota that use them. At least the Insight piece, not necessarily all of their other ones, which again, Insight is the online application tool. It is a little spendy, and that's why we haven't pursued it in the past. We do have the ability to get reimbursement through the CARES Act for this product because it does streamline our processes to work remotely, and it would be very helpful in that way. If I'm not in the office, the manager's not in the office, and we're able to still review these applications and just really keep that process moving for recruitment. Also, I just think in the age we're living in, job applicants are really, they would see us more as kind of a up on the technology employer by having an online tool to apply for a job, because job applicants really expect that nowadays. NeoGov would have the ability to bill us up front for the cost for if we did like the 3-year program. And so we could utilize CARES Act to pay for that. And I guess at the end of 3 years, we can maybe evaluate and see how well it worked for us and if it's really helped our recruitment for the county.
So Kathy,
And I'm open to any questions or comments.
okay, but the CARES Act would pay for 100% of it at this point
Yes.
for 3 years, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And do you know what the number is that we're approving? How many dollars are we?
Bruce, I didn't quite hear that.
How many dollars are we talking about that the CARES Act is going to pay for here?
So, the one that I'm most interested in out of the quotes that are presented to you right now is the NeoGov 3-year option on the Insight plus eForms. And that year 1 would be free, year 2, $11,547, year 3, $86.59 for a total of $20,206 and a yearly average of $6,700. $6,735.33.
And at the end of the 3 years, you'd have to determine whether or not it's worth continuing with it to re-up for it or whatever you want to call it, so.
Yes.
We have adequate funds yet in the CARES funding, so.
Yes, we do.
I would have to probably defer to Steve for that. I don't
Yes,
know.
we do have, there's adequate funds in the CARES Act for us to use it. And this does, the specific verbiage that it comes from the supplemental guidance on use of funds to cover payroll and benefits for public employees. The statement that we're following is, the fund was intended to provide assistance to address increased expenses such as the expense of hiring new personnel as needed to assist with the government's response to the public health emergency and to allow recipients facing budget pressures not to have layoff or furlough employees who would need to assist with that purpose. That's where it's coming from.
Okay, Luke?
Kathy, are there any other programs that would allow us to do these online applications? I guess I'm just struggling with the cost for how few new employees we have each year. It just seems like, it's adding a significant portion per employee, and I don't know that we're getting that much benefit for that cost.
Sure. I know there are a couple other software programs. I have not looked extensively into them, though. This one is kind of the standard for most counties that I've heard of in the area. But that's something I could look into.
So there's other counties our size that are using this, or?
Well, I can't necessarily say statewide, but there are some counties in our area that are using it. Our size, it's not as common, no. Nicollet County has it. I know there's some other counties that are looking into it, especially because of the CARES Act funding opportunity, but I haven't heard whether or not they've signed on to it at this point. let me just see my email here for a couple more that might have it right now in our area.
Well, it's attractive because of the CARES Act funding that we have available at the moment, but other than that, I don't know if we wouldn't necessarily want to go forward with it if we were paying for it out of our pocket.
Right.
And maybe that's kind of what you're starting to.
Well, that, and I just keep looking at, I mean, it's all tax money.
Yeah.
Right.
The last thing we want to do is give it back either. If there's something we can do with it to make jobs easier, if we can, that's what it's there for. But we do have a little bit of time left. It has to be done by December 1st to use any CARES Act money. That's drop dead date, so.
But that date's coming up real quick here.
Real
so
quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have,
Mr. Chair, I would have a question for Chris
Yeah.
Hollingsworth, Commissioner Hollingsworth. Being our technologies guy, have you got an opinion on this, or would you be able to do some research? I also believe that in light of COVID lockdown and so forth, this would be a good tool, and we certainly have got to give our people the tools that they need. And I also echo Kathy's feeling that it is a rather hefty price tag. But because we do have the CARES Act money for 3 years of this, that would be nice. We wouldn't want to get accustomed to it if we had to pay for it out of our taxpayers' money. So I'm in favor of the idea, but I'm looking for more information. Chris, what do you think? Are there alternatives that we could use as well?
I guess this isn't any type of software that I'm honestly familiar with or anything like that, so I don't have an opinion for that matter, on that matter. But like you said, if this CARES money wasn't here, I don't think this would probably be on the table at all. We probably wouldn't even be going forward with discussion even, to be honest with you. But being that we do have that money available, maybe we could evaluate it after the third year then too, but.
well, it might help you get through the CARES time here. I mean, that isn't going to
Right.
last forever, and within 6 months or a year, that may be history.
Or hopefully within 3.
You know, so I certainly think within 3 years, we'll be back to normal, so, then you could reevaluate it. But,
Would it be the prudent thing we got till December on this, I believe I heard, to maybe do a little price comparison and see what other products are out there? I realize this is the standard, but let's at least do some comparative shopping before we move ahead with this. What do you guys think?
I'm open to that idea. Bring it back at the next meeting. See if we can, get another quote or two by then. And if we don't, then we have what we have then.
can you do a little looking into it, Kathy, and see if there's anything else available, just to kind of reassure us that we're getting the best deal out there?
Sure.
Okay,
Yep, I can do that.
okay, maybe in a
This
couple of weeks.
delay isn't going to cause any hardship for you for a month or so on this?
No, this shouldn't cause me any hardship.
Okay.
No, I think these quotes are good until the end of December, so,
Okay, well,
we
if you
should be good to put it off a little bit and,
come back in 2 weeks with some more information, that would be great, then we'll talk about it again, if that's okay. Okay, thank you.
thanks.
What's next here? We have some other things, but we do have Nick here. Can you, ready to go, Nick? Okay.
Good morning. All right, first up for me today would be approving the final payment for our federal box culvert contract, SP 059-602-026. That was with Henning Construction out of Adrian. The final payment amount was $4,362.12. That came in a little above the original, or the bid price. But with that one, we had to have a little special of a design for the minnows. It was federal, so they got a little bit more involved with that one. That took, between bedding and riprap, about 7,000 more than we expected, so, which isn't really a lot in the grand scheme of things for a project like this, so I'm happy with this. It was on County Road 2, about a half-mile east of our CASA 16 project, so.
Okay, you want a motion to approve that payment?
Yeah, yes, please, the final payment.
Move to approve.
Luke made motion to approve.
Second.
Les seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Next up, yesterday we received the final paperwork from Aztec Corp. out of St. Cloud for our 2020 seal coat project. The final payment amount on that project is $3,730.59. And that one actually came in, I think it was about 40,000 under the bid price. What's up with that is, we estimate what it's gonna take for oil and rock on these projects, but we adjust in the field based on what's actually needed. And it turned out we didn't need all the oil we thought we were gonna, so we didn't use it, so. So that one came in quite a bit cheaper, so.
Okay.
Chair, move for approval.
Chris made a motion to approve.
Dan will second.
Dan seconded. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Next item for me, we received word last week that our gravel crushers are gonna be in this week to work on our gravel crushing project. So as in the past, we've typically increased the quantity by 25%. So I guess I'm here to ask for approval to do that again if we feel the product is good. We have the money budgeted for this too, so.
So it was 130, 100, and it's gonna be increased to 162, 625.
Correct, yep, and that's all budgeted for, so, and that's of course if we're happy with the product and the weather cooperates.
There now? Are they crushing now or no?
No, but they're not there now, but last week I talked to them and they said, we'll be in next week, so that would be
So
this
it's
week.
coming pretty quick there.
Yeah, it should be, in the next few days they show up.
Weather gonna be a factor at this point for them or not necessarily? The frost isn't?
Think so,
Okay.
but, they have to strip some of the dirt off the top. That'd be the frozen stuff to me, and then the stuff underneath that they process should be okay yet, but
Okay.
if that's freezing up and we're not getting the product we want, we won't increase the quantity, we'll just leave it where it is, so.
But with the weather forecast for this weekend and stuff, you should be in good shape.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll work out just fine, so.
Yep.
But if not, like I said, if we're not getting the product we want, we won't have them go any farther.
Okay, we need a motion to approve
So
the.
moved.
Okay, Les made the motion.
Second.
Chris seconded. Any other discussion about the gravel crushing? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Next up for me is our sign truck discussion. I've brought this up multiple times. I think we're finally done with it. I apologize for all the runaround. We finally got our numbers back from the suppliers, from the truck suppliers. Just a quick recap. Originally, we were going for a 7-liter engine with the accordingly sized transmission. It met the specs for the sign body and everything, but after talking with the sign body folks, they highly recommended going to the next size up with the bigger transmission, because we could pull a trailer behind the truck then instead of it just being an empty truck, and I think there's a lot of value to that. Plus, there's more value to the larger engine and transmission. I listed those out at the bottom there. And, surprisingly enough, it's $1,900 for the upgrade on a couple $100,000 machine. So I think I definitely think it's the right thing to do the upgrade, considering that's all it costs. And one little side note, just because this little task won't go away, of course, the body contract expired, so we have to go with new pricing on the body. But surprisingly enough, it was only a $14 increase to get to go to the new year, so
They couldn't eat the $14.
I guess not, but it's, it'd be I suppose the next year newer body. I don't know if that'll be worth anything in the end, but, which I doubt, but. So that's that. I think we can finally pull the trigger on everything. And, like I said, I would recommend the upgrade, but if you want, we can stick with the 7-liter instead of the 9.
Yep, grade seems like a good idea. I guess I'd move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have Luke and Chris. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Then you have box culverts. Do you have anything else in the meantime?
Yes, we got our title in the mail finally for that tack truck we wanted to sell. So I've been in contact with Minbid. I got all the stuff from them. I started filling it out, but I just wanted to run a couple things by you. If it brings too little of money, which would be, if it brings under $50, the state keeps that as an admin fee. So it's possible we might not get anything for it. Otherwise, there's like a graduated scale of admin costs that they keep for it. Just wanted to make sure that's okay with you. I think that's, the other way would be we pay for a newspaper ad and it might end up costing us money to get rid of it. We could still put it in an ad in the paper if you'd like. I did go on this site, and the closest one I found to ours, which is bigger and newer than ours, it sold for $810. So I don't know how much we want to stick into advertising. We can put it in the Free Star. We could put it in the official paper too if you want. But
And to just put a link on our website to
we'll do that
wherever-
too. Yeah, because that's free. So.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it is what it is. It costs us $50. We're rid of it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So.
I know of an individual that's interested in it and is willing to spend $100 or $200 or.
Yep. And I'll get you the link to it once we have it.
I don't know what maybe they're willing to spend more than that, I don't know, but if it's gonna be an auction or is it just gonna be a bid opening?
It's an auction on the state's website. Yeah, it's called Minbid. So, and I'll get all that information out once I have the links for it and everything, but I just wanted to make sure you're okay with the fact that we might not get anything
This is
out
the
of it.
same one Wayne's putting the skid steer on?
Yep, it's the same ad. I'm putting it all together. I'm doing his stuff too.
Minbid.com or how do they?
.org, I think.
access it?
I think it's minbid.org, but when they get it posted, I'll send out a link to everyone so we all have it. So,
It'd be nice if some of the local people could be aware of the Minbid site, they could access it if they want to bid on it.
Yeah, if you got a link on the county website, it'd be.
Yep,
pretty
we'll do
easy
that.
for people to access.
and maybe I think we got a Facebook page or something too, don't we, the county?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we
Put
could.
it on there, because
Post something on
Facebook gets
that.
out there.
Yeah, it seems to get out pretty well, so, yeah. Okay,
It's minbid.org, spelled MINNBID.org. Online auction, state of Minnesota surplus.
okay.
MINN, bid.
Okay, and on there it says the location, I would assume, of the item. So they know where it's.
Oh, I would think
if it's
it'd
in
have to-
Fergus Falls or someplace, they're not gonna go get it. you know.
Right. I had to, in the form I filled out, I had to put my name and position and address and everything on it, so I just,
I'll know where it's at.
yeah, I would assume that that would show up. I guess I never asked that, but I had to give that information out, so.
Could probably search by location or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I've never really used it, I guess, so.
Probably use zip code.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that's on there, so.
It's
Okay, well, that's what I'll do with that. I guess that's all I have until the bid opening at 10:30, unless anybody has questions for me.
Mr. Chairman, you had a question about that City of Pipestone and
Oh,
trail
yeah,
for.
a few months ago, we had a thing with the city of Pipestone regarding the trail project up here, and they owed $10,000 for, I think the number was $10,000 if I recall, for some
The
planning
10%.
or application fees or something. And they, at that time, were unable to pay it. The county ended up forwarding the money, paying the whatever it was, I think the number was $10,000. And they were gonna pay us back at some point. I'm just wondering if we ever saw the $10,000 back. You remember that at all?
Okay, I would have to check. How I remembered that was they had to deposit money for the bid plus
Something.
10%
Something like that.
in case they went over, and they didn't do that extra 10%. But I don't even know if we have that. We haven't had to pay that or anything, so,
Maybe that's what, but if you could look into it, because I remember we
Yeah.
waived the $10,000 and they were gonna pay it at a later date, I think, if I recall.
Yep.
And,
I may have done a request for board action for that even, so maybe
We
I'll
did one on
just,
the 10%. I remember that. We approved that one. But
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about $10,000 or anything that the chair is talking about.
just look over your
Yep.
stuff on that and see where we are there.
I will, yeah, all I remember is like, I think they're supposed to advance us 10% on the cost, and they didn't do that, but,
You were helping them with the project, but it
Yeah.
wasn't really a county project. So, somehow we were helping get the funding for it, but. I don't suppose you have any knowledge of what's gonna happen to our street over here behind us up here on the outside?
for paving.
Yeah. It's not your project, I just
No.
thought maybe you had some insight on it or something, but.
From what I've heard, the contractor is going to finish up in Rock County tomorrow. They're gonna start up the plant, and hopefully get down there tomorrow. And then he wanted to pave in Pipestone Thursday, Friday. I assume that's this project, but I'm not really sure. It's a city project.
That's gonna be asphalt.
Yes,
sounds like.
yep. Yep, and then when they fire that plant up, we're gonna try to finish that patch on County Road 18. And then we can open that road back up, so.
Okay.
So that's how I know a little bit about that. I asked when he's gonna
That's
be.
encouraging, there might be something happening.
So that culvert got replaced then?
Yep, it's reset, everything's good to go on it. The only thing it needs is blacktop, they're done with everything else. Well, I guess the seeding work too, but I mean, all the dirt work's done.
Good.
So, yep.
Mr. Chair, I did on here pull up that minbid.org, and it does show that you have to have the location listed too.
Oh, okay.
Under the description of the item. So I just clicked on the snow blower attachment, seeing if it was, and then, yeah, like with this one, it gives you an address in St. Cloud, Minnesota, or whatnot, and it's through
Okay.
It's like the MnDOT, or at least the state website.
I'll give him this gentleman I know that expressed interest in it, and I said, well, I tried to call Nick, but then we couldn't do anything yet because it wasn't. So I'll tell him about the min bid thing, and then he can.
Yep, we didn't have the title for it. I don't know if we ever had one. It's a 1967 model, I went to
think
dig
they
that
had-
out.
I don't think Minnesota had titles until '72.
Well, that would be why then.
And it's pulled up on a mobile site too, so it would pull up on people's phones and
Okay.
tablets and all that fun stuff.
Good way to go then.
Yep, and it runs. We drive it around a lot once a week just to,
So there's a battery.
yes, there's a battery,
Something.
starts, drives. There's gas in the tank too, so I don't know how much, but
Sure, it's real fresh.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody, a good little farm truck or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Nick? Otherwise, we'll be back at 10:30, right?
Correct.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else we can do with them in the meantime here?
Mr. Chairman, last item I have here, County Attorney Sandy will be here for the bid opening. If they're in court, Assistant Attorney Johnson will take care of court. Demain will be down here for the bid opening. And if things are working and everything gels together, you'll get to meet her today. She did pop her head in last week at the department head meeting when Demain thought we had a board meeting, so department heads got to meet her last week, so that was kind of nice. Seemed like a very nice gal. I'm glad we got her. The only other thing I have, Mr. Chairman and board members, is the JBS plant tour. If I can bring you up to speed on that or what's going on with that, I'd be happy to do so. Mr. Leon Garbers, their safety director, contacted me last week and offered a tour of the facility to the commissioners. and said, well, I'd like to do it during a board meeting if possible and do a field trip out there instead of trying to do a special meeting and that type of thing if it would work. So I suggested either the 10th or the 24th of November for a tour out there. All COVID protocols would have to be followed. We go in, you have temperature scan and all that, so I'd have masks, gowns, gloves. I presume would have hair nets, and as we're touring probably, and obviously winter coats too, because I think we'll be going into cold areas as well. But he just wanted to make sure that the commissioners and the county is very important in the economic viability of JBS, and wanted to reach out to the commissioners to see if they want to do that. And I said, I'll bring it up. I said, I think they would want to do that, but.
I would think the 10th would probably be better than the 24th, just because we have the hospital meeting on the 24th.
Yeah. And it's also just for Thanksgiving too, and I know people might be heading out already for that if they're going anywhere, but
Right.
10th would be fine, so.
Okay.
I figure about an hour of time.
You want to do it right after our meeting that day, or?
We could do
during?
that and just leave the meeting open until we're done with the tour.
Okay, that's fine.
That would be fine.
Okay.
I'd also recommend non-slip shoes if you have any type of those. That are,
Oh, okay.
because the floors there are wet and concrete, and slips and falls happen. If there's any material on the floor, there's a lot of trip hazards.
So we should wear rubber shoes?
Or some type, if you have any type of non-slip shoe or.
Okay. Okay, well, you want to set it up for the
Steve, this
10th?
is
and then
Dan.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Well, not that long ago, the chamber had a ribbon cutting out there for JBS. Is this going to be a similar tour to what that was, or is it going to be a little more involved?
I don't know anything more about it. He just offered a tour. I don't have any specifics, Dan. So I don't
Thank you.
know anything about more involvement or less involvement or anything. Just, it's a tour of the plant.
And Dan, I was actually able to speak with this gentleman a few weeks ago too on the phone, and yeah, he was real nice. He said, they're taking every precaution they can for COVID and everything. They've haven't really had anybody sick or anything like that. They just wanted to, show that they're a good working partner in the community. So.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Okay, I'll set that up.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll have to go into a break
Okay.
till 10:30. Okay?
I'll mute this.
Openings, so. Nick, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and proceed, whatever you want to do.
All right, this is the bid opening for our first set of box culverts for the 2021 construction season. 3 culverts here. They're all on gravel roads up in the northwest corner of the county. Before we get started, are there any more bids? All right. So it looks like we have 5 bids. First bid is of Henning Construction out of Adrian. Henning's bid, $416,051.92. $416,051.92. Second bid is Riley Brothers Construction out of Morris. Bid from Riley Brothers, $470,429.92. $470,429.92. Third bid, Midwest Contracting out of Marshall. Midwest bid, $419,028.00. $419,028.00. Fourth bid is A&C Excavating out of Marshall. A&C's bid, $398,259.92. $398,259.92. Oh, last bid is RNG Construction out of Marshall. RNG's bid, $424,631.92. $424,631.92. So last up then I have the engineer's estimate. For this project, or for these projects, there's three of them. We estimated a total of $502,810. So yeah, these are looking like really great prices compared to our estimate. There's just a bonding bill just passed. I don't know if that had something to do with it too, or if we were just a little bit high based on some of those higher prices we've had lately, but these all look like great prices, so we will check bids and be back with a recommendation.
You want to do that yet today, Nick?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, if possible. It
I think we can,
shouldn't take us long, so.
all right. We'll go on hold again for the meeting. We'll be on hold until Nick.
All the bonds checked out, Dwayne said, so.
Okay, we're live again.
He's working on it. You're still on mute, Dan.
Oh, are you there, Dan? Okay, you're
There he
back.
is, yeah.
Nick's got all the,
You control, because it wouldn't let me unmute it first.
okay. We're back, the meeting's open again, and we're going to approve one of the bids that Nick has for us.
Yes, I just received word that all the bids check out, so I would recommend awarding to the low bid of A&C Excavating out of Marshall for $398,259.92.
Mr. Chair, I'd make that motion.
Okay, Luke made a motion to approve.
Second.
Les seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right. Any other business to come before the board today?
The only other thing I have, Mr. Chairman, is mentioned a little bit ago, is that we are going to be getting a tax abatement request on commercial property in Edgerton from K&M Concrete. And I'd like to have 2 commissioners serve on the committee to go over the application and the recommendations. It's the same procedure that was used back when the Chanaramby LLC building went up in Edgerton too.
I'd be willing to be on it. I don't know if anybody else, I don't care. What if somebody else wants to do it, that's fine too. Just, is it gonna be done in the next weeks or month or?
If everything goes right, we should be able to do the hearing on the 24th.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll see where Joyce and Tyler are on the process, but so
Yeah.
this is fine. Anybody?
Les, you wanna be on it? You're
Yeah.
kind of a builder. You're somewhat know a little bit about that, I think. But,
Yep.
what they're doing, I don't know. I think it's just pouring concrete and building a building, I would guess, but, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I had, Mr. Chairman. I'll put you guys down. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion or, okay, anybody care to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Les and Chris, any other, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Dan,
See you at 1, Dan.
see you at 1
Very good.
o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock, you bet.
Thanks, Dan.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
We might have to